Okay. So what we will see today is how we can achieve this Postman, Git, and Jenkins integration. So basically, how we can trigger any of the Postman collections via Jenkins. So this we will try to perform for today. So I have highlighted the steps as well, what you need to do on your end to achieve this. So let's get started and see what are the things. So the first thing is to export the collection. So let's say if I open the Postman, right? And let's say this is the collection which I want to trigger it via Jenkins. So the first thing, let me just check if the things are running fine in this particular collection, or just let me. Okay. So the first thing, we will have to export this particular collection to our local system. So let me create one folder and I will name it as, let's say, Postman Jenkins integration. Okay. And I will just export this collection. Okay. Export. And I will export it to this folder. Fine. Okay. Now it's done. So yeah, this was the first step. So this is done. Now we will have to go to GitHub and create a repository where we will have to push these collections into GitHub. So for Jenkins, Jenkins will directly connect with GitHub and get the Postman collection. So the main aim is to take this particular, you can say, the collection from our local system. So this is currently into my laptop. So this is a local system. I will have to push this particular collection to GitHub. So you must be aware of GitHub.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So let me just open my GitHub and let me create a repository there. Let me create a new repository. And let's say we put a name as, what was the, it is Swagger Pet Store. Okay. Let me call it as Swagger Pet Store. Pet Store Git Jenkins integration. Okay, let me name this as this particular value and then keep it as a public, and just we can create the repository. Okay, so the repository has been created and we got the URL as well for the repo. So I will just copy this. Let me open up a notepad. Okay, so this is my Git repo. Now what we have to do, now we will have to push the files from our local to the Git repo. So for that, these are the Git commands which we have to follow. So for this, we will just do one thing. We will go to the folder where the collection was, and here we will just have to open the git bash. And now we will have to just write down some commands. Okay. So let me just have a look. So first of all, we will have to initialize the Git repository. So git init. So this is done. Now we will have to check the status. Okay, so it says that this is the particular collection and it's not added yet to the local repo. So we will have to add this. Git add star. So this will add up this file, and then we can again check the status. So now it is added, and now we will have to commit this particular changes so that it's available in Git. We will just write git commit -m. Let's pass a value like this is Git Jenkins integration. Okay, hit enter. So now this is done. And now what we have to do is that we will have to add up the repository where we need to push the code. So we have the repository name copied over here. So we will just modify it and use this repo name. Just copy this and over here, just replace with your repository. Okay, just copy this particular command and use it over here. Or let's say, just write down get remote add origin and then the repository URL. I will have to remove these values. Okay, so now it is done. So currently it is in master, so we will have to switch to main, and for that just use this command git branch -m main. Now it is switched to main, and now we can push the things. Git push -u origin main. Okay. So now this process has been done, and if we go back to the repository, just a second. Okay. Give me a second. So now if we go back to the repository, so it should have the Postman collection. So let me just open up the GitHub and which particular repository? So yeah, this was the repository. And yes, so now we can see that the Postman collection has been pushed to GitHub. So now these one of the steps has been done. So we were successfully able to push the files to GitHub repo. So now what we have to do is that we have to trigger, we have to build a job in Jenkins to just take up the files from GitHub and perform the execution of the APIs. So for that, we will have to just open up our Jenkins. So are you aware of Jenkins? Like you have it installed on your system?
No, not such.
Okay, so Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. So you can just go to Jenkins download. Just click on the Jenkins which shows a tick mark, right? This is the official site, and here you can just download it. And what you will get is, yeah, a Jenkins LTS means a long-term support. So basically go for the long-term support version. And here are various things for which Jenkins files are there. So Docker, Kubernetes, Ubuntu, these things. So if you are using a Windows machine, so just click on Windows and okay. So once that is done, you will see that one file will get downloaded, Jenkins MSI. So just wait. And once that is done, you can click on the file, right? And this particular installation wizard will come up. So just it's a simple installation. Click on next, the location and everything next. And you can just check the first option, not recommended, and click on next, and then it will just install the Jenkins. And once the Jenkins is installed, then you will have to just hit this particular URL because Jenkins will run on your local system and it will use this port number 8080 to run. So once the Jenkins is installed in your system, you can just write down localhost 8080 and this kind of a pop-up will appear for Jenkins. So, and if this is not appearing, then there are some slight debugs which you will have to do, and you will get the Jenkins dashboard. So that you can just do some research on your end, right? So try to install the Jenkins, and in case of any issues, you can reach to me and can just let you know. So it will be a bit simple installation for Jenkins, nothing much of a kind. And once you get Jenkins, so this is the open software, and it's used for CI/CD. So basically, DevOps person or DevOps people use Jenkins to deploy the codes or something to production and those things. So once the Jenkins is there for you, then what we can do is that now the thing will be we will have to build a job in Jenkins. So that is quite simple. Once you are in this folder, it will show you that you are logged in as an admin, and then you can just click on new item over here. And when you click on new item, it will just ask you, please enter the name, maybe the project name or the job name which we want to create. So let me write it as pet store. Let me say it is pet store get Jenkins day, and let's say today's day 11. Okay. Take any name, click on this freestyle project, and then you will see, just a second, you will see a button as a OK. So just click on OK. So just take the name, click on freestyle project over here, and click on OK. So now some more details will come up, like for the job which we are going to create. So it will be a general field where we will have to put a description, so I can use it as this is to trigger Postman APIs, let's say APIs via Jenkins. Something of this sort, a slight description, whatever is suitable for your project. So you can just take it over here, and then you can just scroll down, and here we have a topic called source code management. So basically, this will inform Jenkins from where we will have to take up the APIs, or from where we will have to take up the codes. So those things. So just click on Git, because all the things we have pushed to GitHub. So we can just go over here and select the radio button for Git, and it will ask you the repository URL from which particular repository we have to take the codes. So I will just go to my GitHub, and yeah, this was the repository. So just go over here, and you will get this URL. So just copy it, and just go to Jenkins and paste it. Yeah, so this is the repo which we are using, and credentials, just leave it, and this is done. And also we have a section called branches, from which branch the code, or particularly on which branch the code is there. So for that, just go to your repository and just have a look over here. So this is the you can say the URL, and it is directed to main branch. If you click on over here, so in the branches it is showing main. So that's the reason we will just remove the master from here. So master is a default value. We don't want a master, we want it from main. So just write down main. And then, so this part is done. So now what we have to do is that just to leave the build triggers for now, just go to build environment. So now here we will have to just instruct Jenkins, like how we are going to use or what particular thing we are you going to use to execute the API. So for that, you will have an option for node and npm. So just click on that node and npm, and leave these things as default, nothing much. And then we will have a section of build steps. So there we will have to go and just click on execute Windows batch command. And this portion So where we were, source code management. Okay, this is done. We have selected the node and npm. Okay, and yeah, in execute Windows batch command, we will have to use this particular command, right? Just copy it and just paste it. So Newman run collection name. So we will have to provide what is the name of our collection. So let me check what was the name of the collection which we have pushed. So just a second. Okay, so this was it. Okay, and this is the name of the collection. So just copy it and go to Jenkins and just replace the collection name with the collection name which you are having. And then it will be -r HTML extra. So this will help in publishing the reports of the API testing, and hashtag reporter HTML export and dot results report. So basically, this particular statement will guide Jenkins to publish all the API testing reports under this folder structure. So I will just I have written down the steps in this. So once you get it, you can just watch the video, revisit the video, and practice it. So it will be easy for you. So now
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, so in this command, you just have to replace the correct, you can say, the collection name of your project and nothing else. And now everything is kind of ready. You can just save the job. Now the job is ready. So job has been saved, and now we can just go ahead, and here are various options. So we can just hit build now. So what build now is it do? Let me just click over here, and you will get yeah, you will see a progress bar over here. So just click on it, and it's just getting some things, and it will also kind of a log its progress over here. So we can just have a look. Let me see the console. Okay. So here is the console output. So basically what Jenkins is doing internally, right? So you will get that it will just go to GitHub, get all the collections, and it will just run the collections using the Windows batch command which we provided. And yeah, and at the end you will get something like if the job has run successfully, then you will get a success response, and also it will give a folder path of where the reports have been stored for after this job has ran. So just go to the folder structure, just copy the path, just go to the system, just go over here. So whenever the job runs, so Jenkins will create this kind of a path on your local system, or say your laptop, and it will store the files. So under this particular path for the APIs, it has created a folder with results, and here it will publish the report. So if you double click the report, you will get what was the result for the testing. So basically, I think, okay. So in this particular API, we have not used any test scripts, so that we are not having any pass or fail value, but it will just show us that for one iteration, the things have been performed and 3 requests were there in the API. So these values, and also what were the requests. So these things it will show up in the result. So in case if we had written some tests for the APIs, then it would have displayed us the pass and fail results, those things. So this is how it had ran the collection and generated a report as well. So just let me go to Jenkins. Okay, so now this is done. And if we go to the job, we can see that it will label it as a 1, and it will show a tick mark. So tick mark means that the job is a success and the build has been successfully triggered. So this is one thing. Like this is the thing how you can just push any collection to GitHub, right? So these steps are for that. And then once you push the collection to GitHub, how you can just create a Jenkins job to run the collection. And once the collection is triggered, it will generate a HTML report as well in your respective folder. So now let's just modify a little bit over there. So as of now, are you getting the things like the particular things which how those things are interconnected?
Yeah, but need to practice.
Yes.
Yeah, Vinas, I am getting.
Yes, you will once you install the Jenkins right on your system, you will have to just revisit this video and do as I have performed, and also try to do it from the document as well, right? You are
Yeah,
aware
I
of
will.
GitHub those things, right?
Yes, yes.
So
And
I think for you to push the collection to Git repository will be easy task, right?
yeah, but you wrote some code in GitHub commands, given a command. So that code's a little bit need to understand.
Right. So when you will do the hands-on on your system, you will get a understanding of those things are kind of easy. So git
Yes.
init is one command which will initialize that this repository is kind of linked with Git. Then git add is to whatever the files are there in the folder, it will add it into your local Git. And then git commit, git branch. So these things are basically based on Git. So when you will perform these commands in this particular sequence, then your code will get posted on your repository which you have created. And once that particular thing is done, then in Jenkins you can just go ahead and you can build a job, and under the source code management just provide the git repository link, and under the execute batch command just use this particular command and it will just run your collection. And now we will just modify the what you can say the job which we created, so that what I want now is that we need to publish the HTML report. Whatever the report has been generated, I want to publish it, and also I want to email that report to someone. So that slight modification we will try to achieve. So for that it's easy, yeah just go to the job which we created. So yeah, this was the job. Just click there, just go to configure, and now let's see description, nothing we have to do. Source code management, it's already done. Build environment, just we have to make sure for running the Postman you check this provide node and npm. So this is must, because you see over here, this is a Windows batch command we are running, and it's using Newman. So from where this Newman is coming? So it's coming from node npm and this particular thing. So you will have to just check this particular option. And yeah, so post build action. Now what we have to do? Okay, we have to publish the HTML report. So just go to post build action, and over here you will have to say that I want to where it is, publish the generated reports, and here it will just show you a report section. Just go ahead and click on add. Okay, now here we have to provide some values. So from where Jenkins has to pick the uh, HTML report. So for that I think yeah, this is the path. Just let me open up this folder. Okay, so you will have to uh, provide the path location where the result is there. So I think, yeah, here is the report generated. So just copy this whole path and paste it over here in the Jenkins. So from here, Jenkins will go to this path right in your system. And yeah, once it is there, it will get the report from this path. So what we have to pick So index.pages, you will have to provide the value report.html. So once Jenkins goes to this particular path, and from there it has to pick this particular file report.html. So title, it's optional, so just leave it, and report title HTML report. So yeah, leave it the same. No need to, means you can just provide anything like what should be the title of your report. So I will just rename it as my report, let's say day 11. Okay, and just save the things. So now if we go again and build the job, so now this time I'm expecting that one report should get published. So you can see job is running as okay, and it has finished successfully. So let's check, just to refresh it. And now you can see that this is a report which got published, and my report day 11. So this was the title which we used. Just click on over here and you will see. So the format is not that much good. So there are some setup which we will have to do in Jenkins so as to improve the format. But this is the report which what Jenkins triggered the build, and under this path results, the report was generated and it just published the same report. So it's the same Newman report, and yeah, all the things are there. So basically it's the format is bit deteriorated, so don't uh, you can just fix it. So basically we have various formats plugins, so we can use them and and modify the format. But then to have a look that you can just publish the results as well over here. So this was one thing. And what we can do, we can also email the report to some third party or to some client or someone. So for that, again, just configure the build again. And now, okay. So at the very end, you again click on add post build action. And here we have something called editable email notification. So click on that. And here it will just ask you, so recipient list, so whom we want to send the email. So let's say I will use email ID, right? And leave it, and comment type, leave it default subject. You can write any subject over here and any content over here. So let's see if I write a content that this is my Swagger pet store API testing via Jenkins. Okay, make anything, and yeah. So here we have a attachment. So in the attachment, I want to send the report in email. So for that, just provide this value in the attachment field. Results slash report dot html, right? And then you can just click on save. So now if I again trigger this build, I will just go on build now and wait for the build to finish. Okay, so it's running, and you can see that it's also trying to trigger the email, and it's sending the email. And yes, the build has been done, and email has been sent to one of the email IDs. So I will just open up that email ID. And yes, you will see that you will get an email like what was the API and the build was successful and what was the build number, these things. And also the default content which I had recorded in Jenkins, like this is my Swagger pet store API testing via Jenkins. And it has attached the reports as well, which was generated. So I can just open up the report, and yeah, it is the same. Means the what you can say, the format is deteriorated, but it's having all the contents, like it was a Newman run dashboard, and how many iteration it ran, and the values, like what was the how many requests were there. So these things will be there in the report. So this is the way, right? You can basically trigger the APIs from Jenkins, and once the build has been done, it will also send out an email to the email ID which is provided in the jobs. So this will you will get a better understanding once you do this on your system, right? And
Yeah.
one more thing is there. Let me also have. So there is an option to schedule a job in Jenkins. So what scheduling means? Like scheduling is like some like say if I want to run a job at a particular time. Let's say if I am having a API collection, which is a kind of a smoke test, and I want to run that particular APIs on 9 a.m. every morning. So for that, we can uh, tell Jenkins, or we can tell Jenkins that at 9 a.m. please trigger the build. So that is called scheduling in Jenkins. And how we can achieve that? So it's very easy. Yeah, so this was the job which we created. So just go to configure, and here just scroll down, and you will have an option called build triggers. So this is the option, and here you will get a value called build periodically. So it means that at certain time periods, this build will get triggered and all the collection will run by itself. So just click on this option, and here you will have to write a cron parameter to tell it by when it should run. So cron is used in Jenkins. I will just use. Let me. So cron job is a kind of you can say you can say what, a format by which Jenkins will know when to run the job. So let's ask something from ChatGPT, like I need a cron cron format for running, let's say for running a job at let's say running a job every minute, right? So yeah, you can just so it will just give you some 5 stars. So if you just copy it, right, and provide it in Jenkins over here. So yeah, so Jenkins will say that, do you really mean every minute? So this means that every minute Jenkins will trigger that build, or it will run the every each minute it will run the collection, and once the collection is run, it will publish the report. So this is for every minute. And if you are using, if I just use H over here, then it will mean every hour. So every hour this job will run. So let's say in your organization you have to run a set of jobs as smoke test, then we can have, I need a cron format for running at, let's say, 9 a.m. every day, right? Yeah, so yeah, it has just provided me this particular value. Just copy it and use it over here. Okay, and what Jenkins is recommended that please use H over here and use 9. So what it will do is that, okay, so see, you would last run at Sunday 5 November at 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. it will run the job, and on next day 6 November 9 a.m. it will run the job. So every day 9 a.m. what will happen is that it will run the scripts and it will publish the report. So if you are having some kind of a smoke test in your organization, so you can choose this option and you can accordingly provide the cron job and it will run. So let me just do for,
Avinash,
yeah.
smoke testing only done in case when the new build is received, right?
Smoke testing is generally done, means it's
When the
done to check that the major functionalities are running fine. So maybe there are some defect fixes going on in the code or a new build is coming. So in those cases, if you have a small set of test scripts, then it can be run on a daily basis as well.
on daily basis we are not finding any new build, right? Then
Right, right,
one build it will take minimum like 2 weeks to 3 weeks as per the agile methodology.
right.
But
2 weeks it will take.
yeah, but in API, how you are setting on daily 9 o'clock, there is automatically
Let's. Mhm.
so how it will like I didn't understand.
So let's say if you have a collection of in your industry, if you have a collection of APIs, right, which will test the major parts of a functionality. Let's say we have 10 APIs into a Postman collection. If you are working on any project, so for that project, there are, let's say, 10 APIs which are testing the very high level scenarios for that project. So it's a good practice that someone comes in and he runs those 10 APIs so that he will get to know that the application is running as expected and there is no major showstopper or a major blocker in the application, right? So let's say if you have any application, a banking application, and there we will have some test cases like in login to the banking application, right? Do a transaction and let's say customer care support. So these three things, right? So these three things will be a very high priority test cases. So it's really important that someone just test these three test cases on a daily basis, because nobody knows, the test cases might fail, right, for the banking application, maybe due to some environmental issues or anything, right? Even though new code is not deployed or even though something new is not happening, but then also the, you can say, the test can fail. So that is why this kind of smoke testing on a regular basis is important.
Okay. Yeah, it's only just ensure the basic functionality.
Only the basic, not the detail, but the basic, like main thing, like but like the login is happening, right? That is very basic basic thing which we have to check. And
So we
like
should
that,
do on daily basis, like
right. So if the client is kind of it also depends on the client and also depends on the kind of a project which you are having. If the project is a very critical project, like day to day many users are going to that particular project and we cannot expect any downtime, right? In that cases, generally smoke testing will be done by a team on a daily basis.
yeah, got it. And one more thing,
Just 5 or 10 test cases which are, you can say, the very critical test cases, nothing more than that.
and also अगर एक application testing मतलब update phase में है, it's on updating, keep on updating on daily, new features is added on regular basis. So that case only we need to run the smoke, right? Like on daily basis.
Yes, if it is very much updating, in that case also means it can be the case that something or the other in the code might break and you will have to check the check the high priority test cases and you have to perform that particular test. So
Okay.
yeah, that is the thing. And so if you have the APIs in place for those test cases, then you can just use this Jenkins, and then you can just set what is over there. Yeah, just check build periodically and just put a cron format like by when you want to run the job. So let's say if you set it by 9 a.m. in the morning. So the job will run at 9 a.m. and whatever the result is, it will get published via this particular file, email notification, and you will get the email right on your email. And once you reach the office, before that only you will get the kind of a result that what happened to your API testing. So if you reach the office by 10 or 11, you will just get to know earlier that like what was the result for today's test. So these are the things why Jenkins will become important for you.
Yeah. Okay.
And where was it? Let's see. Uh, 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 okay. Okay. Let's see if we want to run it every minute. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This will say you appear to be missing white spaces. Okay. Let me just use it from here. Okay. So let me copy it, paste it. Yeah. So this is for every minute. And let's say I save it, right? So now you will see that after a minute, currently we have a count of 3 for the jobs. So just after a minute or so, it will trigger one more job. So even if you close Jenkins, close everything, but from the server, one of the jobs will get, yeah, you can see the job number 4 got triggered
Yes.
and it is completed. And even I have set up the email. So if I just go to my email, uh,
You set as in every minute it should
right,
update.
right. So you can see I got a email, new email,
Yeah,
and
one more
yeah, and the HTML report, and
report. Yeah.
yeah, and even again after a minute, it will again kind of initiate a job. So this is what we can achieve from Jenkins. So let me just close the build job for every minute. So for that, just go to configure and let me, okay, I will just deselect this, save it, done. Okay, so you can see it has already triggered one job and it has okay, so
Yes.
this was for Jenkins, how you can use Jenkins there. So basically, if you are having some test cases which you want to run at a particular time period or something, you can use this Jenkins as well in your project. Okay.